But
If you guys ever see this guy's physique, it's like crazy. He has a lot of mass as well. He's very aesthetic. So hearing that you're not the best athlete is kind of shocking to me.
a lot of people don't believe me. I would go to sports event for like other club, and they were like, "Of course you're gonna win. Look at you." And I was like, "Man, let's watch me do a sprint. Watch me do a jump. I can guarantee you would not see me do anything athletic." But I struggled with weight loss my whole life, and the one big crucial like catalyst for that is COVID.
Yeah.
COVID actually made me want to work out because I was trapped in my house
Yeah.
playing video games. That sounds like the life, right?
Yeah.
Just in your house, that you're not paying for.
Yeah,
I have a
your
mom
folks.
who's a chef
Yeah.
who can cook quality food every day. Imagine not thinking about food, not thinking about rent, and just playing video games.
Yeah.
every day.
Yeah.
At a certain point, it becomes boring.
Yeah. It becomes kind of boring, right?
Yeah, you're doing the exact same thing. I didn't have a job. Online classes when they first initially, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
you can basically like finish 4 classes of under lower division lower division classes
Yeah.
in the span of 2 hours,
Crazy, huh?
and the rest of the day, which is video
Yeah.
games.
What video games were you playing if you don't want to tell us?
The worst of the worst.
PC, PS5?
League of
Oh,
Legends.
so much of League. Oh
Oh.
my gosh.
Don't get on League. I can tell you that. I'm sadly still playing, but don't get on it. But to a certain point, it did become boring. Like you playing the exact same game every single day. And I always had the motivation. I always wanted to lose weight. Every time I got to the gym, try to go to the treadmill, honestly, 2 or 3 months, I would stop and go back to playing video games.
Oh, really?
So COVID actually helped me. Hey, I'm done with this. Let's start to hustle.
Yeah.
Because I also, at some point, I saw my body deteriorate
Really?
because after wrestling, I was around 180, 85 in terms of body weight and really high percentage in fat composition. However, COVID hit, I went all the way up to 200. Yeah, it was not a good look.
Yeah.
And something kind of like hit. Like something was like, I don't want to be fat anymore.
Yeah.
I want to focus on my health.
On your, how did you feel at 200? Can you give the audience like what your body felt like, and then how did you feel mentally too at that weight?
I would wake up, I would sleep really late and wake up really late.
No way.
It was really, my energy and I think my metabolism was really off, where I wasn't converting a lot of energy. So I always felt drowsy. I never had a lot of motivation to do anything. It was not the best time.
Yeah.
But looking back, like, I'm glad I had it so I know what to do if that ever happens again. I think it's just a good perspective to just have to like, life is like a roller coaster.
Yeah. Overall.
You can't just all have,
Can't always be up, right?
yeah.
So, what steps did you take during this journey? Like, was there a certain YouTuber you're watching? Was there someone who really inspired you to kind of change your physique? And then what did you do to get yourself out of that rut, per se?
I would say, I'm not really sure there was anyone who I watched except Jeff Nippard.
Yeah, heard, bro. We
Jeff-
always talk about him. He has the best videos.
Jeff Nippard, for me, when I was young and confused in terms of like, man, I'm at a gym. I don't know what to do. Like, what is this movement? Like, what does this work? I would do 10 sets of bench press, not knowing how to do the right form. And I usually, I would go to the gym after work, and this would be like 10 p.m. at night.
Yeah, that's crazy. See, you're always getting your bag, dude.
I try to work as well just because my initial gym when I first started was really expensive.
Oh,
It was-
is it Equinox?
It was, I wasn't there yet, but it was Anytime Fitness.
Oh, anytime it's kind of expensive. Yeah, it's like $60, right?
Yeah, $60 per month, but there was no front desk, so you had a key fob to always, it's just like a key pass.
Yeah, to scan.
And during the time that I went, there was nobody. So for me, I was. Would you be surprised to say that I was usually not this personable? I was always kind of awkward and shy.
No way. So for the audience who's curious, Tommy is extremely social. Like,
Nah.
we'll go to the gym from time to time, and then everyone is just saying hi to him. So to hear that he was at a point where he wasn't super social is kind of a shock.
Honestly, like looking back, I'm honestly surprised how personable and more extroverted I am now
Uh-huh.
compared to I was even 4 years ago.
That's crazy. So tremendous growth there. Any tips on how to become more personable, man?
I'm glad you asked that. What a wonderful question. I could attribute the most of my growth to doing something that I really don't want to do.
Oh, fascinating.
So I think I believe it's called exposure therapy.
Exposure therapy, yeah.
Yeah. So let's say so right now I'm dealing with, I have one a big fear of public speaking. I imagine most people do.
A lot of us, yeah.
And one of the best way to deal with that is I actually sign up for a public speaking class. And all we do is write speeches and present them, and we get critical feedback.
Mm-hmm.
And I think something like that, where I'm not comfortable doing that, and like if I keep doing that, sooner or later I'll develop it. I really do think that life is similar to a numbers game, like in terms of averages. Like you will get rejections, and from that rejection, you can either grow or you can either, sink.
Mm-hmm.
For me, I always think I just need to deal with like the averages.
Yeah.
Like, for example, let's say auditioning for an actor, like auditioning.
Yeah.
The average audition an actor has to go to is 1 to 64.
Whoa. Before he gets their first role.
Yeah, it's between 1 to 64. So don't think right off the back, wow, my first audition, I didn't make it. Like, go through the numbers a bit.
Yeah.
Once you are at your 64th like audition, realize, what am I doing wrong? Can I get a mentor to tell me what I'm doing wrong?
Mm-hmm.
And speaking of that, I think a mentor is also a really good step to progression.
Yeah.
I can actually talk to about one of my mentors.
Yes. So Tommy is really big into just finding people who have gotten to where he wants to go to, and he's always been a great learner and investing his time to kind of find out who that person was or is. So why don't you talk about mentorship? Who are your mentors and what kind of you learn from them?
One of my biggest mentor, and he was honestly just a random customer who just comes by every single day. Regardless of what day it is, weekend, weekday, he would always, I used to work at a deli.
Oh, cool. Talk about that.
It was one of my first jobs, and it was just like a starter job. I imagine everyone has their days where they worked at fast food,
Yeah.
retail, grocery stores. And for me, I worked at a deli.
That's awesome. No, like
Yeah.
our guests, like Claire, she was telling us she used to work kind of like at restaurant too during COVID or during her senior year. So everyone that starts that job, right? Yeah.
Honestly, I think it's a really good experience. And two things comes out of that. One, I've met a mentor. He was a Jewish lawyer who just comes by and gives me life advice. But his life advice really hits. Like,
Yeah.
usually it's more of motivation, which exactly what I needed for the time, because I was working 40, 50 hours.
Oh,
Yeah.
this is crazy.
This was during COVID as well.
Yeah.
And this was also during first year. Yeah. So everything was online.
It's on Zoom still, yeah.
Yeah. So it was a little bit easier to work full time than it is now, having classes and commuting back and forth.
Mhm.